All right, we are live on social media. We've got our social coach team and fam all in the Zoom chat today, and I'm so excited to get into our strategy playbook. This is for May. Oh, I wondered this did not update my slide, so sorry for those seeing if it says April. But let's talk about what we're going to cover today. So for May, for every call that we do every month, we cover actionable content creation tips. I go over the latest social media updates that everybody needs to know. I try to find the ones that you'll care about, and I try to definitely highlight the ones that I think will impact your strategy. So we have a lot for you today. I'm excited. And then we end every session with 4 new video trends that are easy to do, no fancy videography needed. Hopefully don't take you a lot of time, but are very easy to translate to your audience to help you attract more business. So if you need a content idea for today, because I know everyone's always like, oh, I don't know what to post about, feel free to take one of the trends from today or a learning and share it on LinkedIn. Please tag us. We'd love to join the conversation. And let's get to it. I've got a lot for you guys today. Oh, and yeah, and just in case anyone doesn't know who we are, we're a social coach. Our platform is designed to make social selling simple for both individuals and enterprise teams. So we do video scripts, video editing, automated content scheduling, including campaigns for teams, and we have built-in compliance controls. So if you have any questions about what we do, how we can help make social easy so you can stay consistent with less work, we're here to help, and we'd love to talk to you more about that. So now we're getting into it, promise. Platform updates. I'm going to start with one that is probably a little bit less popular for people, but it is for Threads. So I know that this is not everyone's top channel, but what I thought was interesting here is back in February of 2024, they had an update where they provide these trending overviews and summarize topics that are gaining traction in the Threads community. So what I thought was interesting about this, they've just updated that and they released a little bit of an announcement that that's going to be available in more locations besides the US. But I thought it was a great time to just highlight, hey, by the way, for those of us going, hey, I always want to know what's trending or what's good to talk about, this can be a really easy way to just open up Threads and check it maybe once a week or every so often when you're feeling low on content ideas. And you can see they have these today's topics listed at the top. Now, the one caveat I'll say is that these are not necessarily going to be mortgage or real estate related. They're going to be pop culture, what people are searching. But if there's big financial news or anything that you notice should be trending, you can go check it here. So just wanted to I like to point out when there's new features or features that you guys can take advantage of, especially for content creation and making it easy. So I think that's super great to pay attention to. And for anyone who does, still have that debate of, Threads versus X or formerly Twitter, which one should I be on? Threads is now up to 400 million monthly active users. And that is compared to Twitter or X's 600 million. So they're getting pretty close. I would say Twitter or X still has a bit more if you're debating between the two. But if you're someone who wants to try Threads or wants to be on it more, definitely worth a try. So that was just an easy lowball update for us to start. Now, the big one that I was super excited about for Instagram is Instagram updated their analytics. And what this did is it's more than just an analytics update. This update shows us exactly how Instagram is ranking your reels and your content performance. So that's why this is so big. You might have heard this one before today. But what's happening here is they have given us a breakdown. You can see over here on the right of what impacts your views. You'll see at the top is skip rate. So skip rate is how quickly people are skipping past your video, right? So a lower skip rate is better. Now, I did a little research, and from what I was able to gather, a healthy skip rate is typically between 30 to 40%. Now, for most of us, most of our content probably isn't in that range because we're not experts at video. We're still getting used to it. So above 50% is typically considered an underperforming reel. So if you have a higher skip rate than 50%, I just think that's a great time to say, hey, I'm going to go take a look. And my goal is to get that skip rate lower. Now, if you're wondering how to do that, first and foremost, your hook, which I will talk about later in our content tips section, having a really strong hook to keep people around, right, is going to help. And then making those first 5 to 10 seconds of your video really strong, really engaging, both in terms of what you're talking about and the visuals. That's all going to be really helpful for getting that skip rate to drop lower. All right. So again, this also is helping us shift focus from, hey, I'm just going to post more and more and more, as much as that does help us grow, to making sure that we are optimizing those first 3 to 5 seconds before anything else, right? If no one's watching past 3 to 5 seconds, the rest of the video doesn't really matter anyway. And this also counts for posts, right? If you're having caption or image that you want people to read, making sure the first sentence or that first image is really attention grabbing and locking people in. Super, super important. And I know a lot of you have heard me preach that over and over, but I just, you got to go back to the basics sometimes and focus on what really matters. So skip rate's number one. You'll see beneath that they have share rate, like rate, save rate, repost rate, and then comment rate. So what's interesting is I've talked about this a little bit in boot camp of how they've moved away from just saying, oh, you got this many comments, cool, we'll push it out to the algorithm. What they're doing is they're kind of seeing the percentage of how much engagement compared to watch time are we seeing. So are people watching a minute and then liking and commenting? What percentage of people are choosing to engage? Are people choosing to engage in multiple ways on the same post? All of that does count and kind of is put in this ranking. So doesn't mean you have to go stay super, super in tune with this on every single post. But I just think, this is a really cool ranking to see which metrics matter on your posts. And then also being able to go in and that skip rate kind of being like, okay, if I can get that skip rate down, everything else is going to do a little bit better. If we have any questions on that, just let me know. Happy to go over it. But that was a really cool update that Instagram shared. And, they always do like, oh, no biggie, we just updated insights really quick. And everyone's like, you finally told us the algorithm and how it works. So this was kind of mind blowing for a lot of us this month, which is great. And now you guys know, and you can use it in your content as well. Some other updates from Instagram that might just be notable. Really quick, Steve, I see a question. Where in Instagram is this available? So I believe this is on your individual post insights. So if you click on a reel or a post and then you say like view more insights from that post, it will take you. And if you scroll down, you should see this in your metrics. It's not going to be under the professional dashboard. It'll be under each post individually. So hopefully that answers that question. Gwen, are these percentage stats universal or does it change for each account? So these will change for every post, which does make that a little bit confusing. So if we go back a slide really quick so you can see the impact of the views. So the skip rate will change for every video. If you have a video where people stick around for a minute, that skip rate is going to be a lot lower because people stuck around to watch the video more. I would think then that the share rate, the like rate, all of these are going to go up a little bit as well. There might be some videos where, you don't get as many shares or some videos where you get a lot more comments. So the rate will change for every post depending. It'll just be, the percentages is showing the audience reacting to that specific post. So in general, for most posts, you want to keep that skip rate below 50% where you can. And then for all the other engagement stats, the higher that percentage, the better. So if you ever have a video that you're like, well, that got way more views than usual, why is that? If you go in here, I bet it's because you have a lower skip rate. And then these engagement rates for the other metrics would be a little bit higher than usual. So that combo will tell the algorithm, oh, we should show this to more people. People are watching this longer and engaging more. And then that's going to get you more views. It's going to get pushed out to more people. And that's how that works. Hopefully that answered your question. Thank you guys for putting those in the chat. Super appreciate it. I'm going to keep going. But again, if we have questions, keep dropping them in the chat. Here to help. Okay, so Instagram also released an AI creator label. Now, this is not huge, especially for anyone here, because most of us probably are not using AI this heavily, right? Sometimes people do like to do the AI avatar videos. That is an instance where you might see this label popping up, right? So what this is basically creators can toggle on the AI creator tag on their profile, which just means that any content they post is then labeled with some sort of AI disclaimer. And their profile, when people go view it, has a label that says, hey, AI creator. Now, this is because some people are creating profiles that are entirely AI. So there are people showing videos that are almost like they're called user generated content. So it's something like, hey, I might buy an Amazon product and have this AI person reviewing the product and saying, hey, this is super great. That needs to be labeled as AI, right? I want to know that that's an AI person recommending a product if I'm going to go buy it. So this is more, I think, going to be useful for retail and influencers who are kind of using it in that way. But I did think this was really important to bring up so that if you guys are seeing this label, you're knowing, oh, okay, this person is heavily using AI content. What I'm looking at may not even be a real person. It really depends. But also, I think this just really indicates a pattern of people wanting AI to be called out, right? Especially in our industry, regulation, trust is key. So being able to label, hey, this was AI generated, is important. And this doesn't mean, oh, I used AI to write my script and then I'm on camera. That you're not needing this label at all. This is more for when something is fully AI. Right? Like, here, put a thumbs up in the chat if anyone's ever fallen for one of those AI videos of like bunnies jumping on a trampoline, or like a Ring camera video that then someone later was like, that's AI, that's fake. And you're like, what? See, I'm seeing the thumbs up. Me too. The bunnies got me, you guys. I was like, whoa, crazy. But it's fine. So those are the types of videos that would get this AI label, so that you're not sitting there feeling, a little silly after the fact going, oh, I thought that was real. Dang. It's just to help with clarity, with truth. And I love that Instagram is doing this. I think it's really important. So most of you will not need to use this, should not be using this, unless you're really like doing the AI avatar thing. Then I think it's good to disclose, just so that then people are aware and aren't losing trust and like, hey, I thought this was really you and it isn't, right? So just an important update I thought was great to highlight there. Now, another big algorithm update, that this one is a big deal, is that Instagram is no longer recommending posts from profiles that focus on only reposting other people's content. So again, this will not apply to most of you, this part of like, hey, if you are reposting content from other people, your profile might stop getting recommended. This doesn't mean, oh my gosh, Amanda shared a video and I put it on my story or I'm reposting it. That's not what we're talking about. There's a lot of accounts where their whole thing is, I'm going to take a video off YouTube, chop it up into pieces and post those clips on Instagram and get a lot of views. Or I'm going to take TV shows and post them in clips on Instagram. Or I'm even going to take an influencer's videos and just put them on a different account. And sometimes those just get a lot more reach than even the original video did. So that was harming original creators, right? That was taking a lot of monetization, a lot of views and engagement, and putting it in these accounts that are just run by random people. So what Instagram said is, they're like, all right, if we see an original piece of content and then we see another account post that exact same content with no original changes, we're not going to recommend that second piece of content, so that the original content gets more engagement that it deserves. So what's cool about this is it means that all of you who are original creators, you're putting out your own content, you can potentially see a 40 to 60% increase in reach because of these changes, because there was so much of that algorithm being taken up by people reposting that now they're not getting recommended. There's a lot more room for original content, which is really great. So it may not mean, oh my gosh, you're going to go viral all of a sudden. That is not what I'm saying. But I just mean, if you're staying consistent and you're posting original content, you are going to reap the benefits over time, versus these accounts that are just kind of taking old content or other people's content and resharing it. So this does not change how followers are shown your content. That's not going to get affected. It's mainly just pushing out new things. And then if you are trying to reshare content, the two little caveats I wanted to make sure we know are: good ways to reshare content are using the repost feature on Instagram, sharing people's content to your stories. That's allowed. That's totally good. They have a remix feature, which allows you to kind of stitch it or do like something a little bit different with that video and add your own content or reply on top of it. Collaboration posts. So if you're like, hey, I posted a video and I'm collaborating with my real estate agent who is in it, or a colleague, and I'm going to put them as a collaborator, that's totally fine. That still works. And paid partnerships, which again, I don't think that'll apply to this audience, but it still counts. All of those are totally fine. The one instance that I think this group in particular might need to be careful is if your marketing manager or your brand or your company has a video that they've given to everybody and you're all trying to go repost it and say, oh, it's the exact same video and I'm just posting it on my own account. That might just see less views, because what Instagram will likely do is whoever shares it first, maybe it's the brand, maybe it's whoever was paying attention to the email that got sent out or the social coach campaign that got set up, right? The first video goes out and Instagram goes, oh, that's original content. Cool. You're good to go. We're going to push it out. And then everyone else who posts the exact same video after that isn't going to get as much reach. It's not going to, hurt your profiles. It's not going to get anything shut down. You just might see, hey, I got like 20 views on this when I usually get a couple hundred, right? So that's just something to keep in mind. So if you have a brand video or something that is being given to you to share, the idea is to try to personalize it in some way. Maybe you record your own version. Maybe you tack on a little, hey, my company just released this video. It's really great. Stick around and watch. You put that before their video. That is enough to add original content to it so that this wouldn't be affected, right? So you can see here, the example I put on the screen is with a meme. So if you're putting out memes with no original text on them, those might not do as well. But I think they're going to be really in particular knowing that, hey, memes are likely to get caught in these filters. So as long as you have original text or captions or something about it that makes it unique or original, you should be fine. Let me know if we have questions there. Again, I thought this was a really important one to highlight because it could mean you guys see increased reach, and most of you are doing original content anyway. But if anyone has questions about like, oh wait, you're making me nervous, just let me know. For by and large, I don't think this will affect anyone here. It's mainly just, hey, my marketing managers and leaders, maybe just make sure when you're distributing content, if it's a video or if it's a post in particular, you might want to make sure it's a little bit differentiated. Different captions, add the headshot to the photo. So that's something you can do in Social Coach with our auto stickers. Doing something like that will help personalize it and just will help it get through these features. But to be honest, even if it's a post here and there that's happening, it shouldn't hurt anyone. They're mainly looking for these accounts where this is literally all that they post. All they do is repost. That's what they're trying to stop. So I think everyone here should be totally fine. Okay, let me know if we have questions, but I'm gonna keep going. Another quick update of note. Again, a lot of these are just good things to know about. I don't think anyone needs to take action on this unless you really want to, but Meta is releasing a new app called Instance. It's basically Snapchat. They're just trying to compete with Snapchat. So just if you hear about this, if Instagram, pops up something and you're like, oh, Instance, Ashley and Social Coach didn't tell me about this. What is this? Don't panic. It's just their version of Snapchat. And all it means is, hey, if you want, you can send a photo to somebody, they view it once, it disappears. So it's almost like Instagram stories, except those live for 24 hours before expiring. A Snapchat is just one photo. You open it once and then it goes away. So it's meant to just be like, oh, this isn't permanent. It's kind of fun. You can just share, oh, I'm at my desk today, or oh, I'm at the beach. But honestly, I don't think this is going to be in anyone's strategy in a way that helps you attract more business or move it forward. Honestly, if you are, please let me know. I would love to interview you and know what that is like and what you're doing. But I just wanted everyone to know about this so you weren't feeling like there's a new Instagram thing and Ashley didn't tell me about it. So that's all. And the one message I will put out there is not with this update or feature in particular, but in general, when Instagram and other platforms push out new features, it is a good idea to give those features a try because they really reward early adopters by pushing out that content a lot further. So this is a brand new app, so that's going to be different and it's very much more one-to-one messaging. I don't think this is the right situation for that, but in the future, that is why I typically like to highlight new features to you guys, because if it's like, hey, they put on a new video feature, go test it out. If you do trial reels or these things that they're pushing, you're more likely to get pushed out to more people because they're rewarding you for trying the new thing early. So thumbs up if that makes sense to us. Just wanted to highlight this one is not it, but in general, when you see new features come in, you want to jump on that. Okay, great. Seeing the thumbs up. Thanks, guys. Okay, jumping over to YouTube. I don't know how many of us are on YouTube. If you aren't, probably a good idea. If you're already making video content, go post it over there. It always does well. This is going to be an exciting one, especially for anyone who's done a trend, posted it on YouTube Shorts, and then somehow got some sort of copyright, something with the music, right? Sometimes we're putting a Taylor Swift song and then that gets taken down and you're like sad. So YouTube is adding a new music generation feature where essentially instead of, if you have music in your videos that gets flagged as copyright protected, typically what you have to do is you either have to just take that video down or you have to go re-edit it to remove that music and then put it back up. And in the meantime, by doing that, right, you had a post that got maybe a couple thousand views, but then it got copyright. So that turns right off. No one else can see it. And now you're like, dang it, I had all this engagement, but I'm having to redo this video, re-upload it. It's a whole hassle. Well, now YouTube's like, hey, we get it. What if we just give you the option to just replace that copyrighted music with something that doesn't violate the copyright? So this is pretty cool. They're going to give you the option to just replace that song with something generic. Now, I think there will be some instances where this doesn't work super well. Like if you're trying to do a trend and they flag it and it's a very specific audio, replacing it with a generic song may not make the trend make sense. But in general, this could be a really great thing. For instance, these social media State of the Unions tend to get flagged in certain countries for copyright because the trend audio I'm using to show you guys the trends shows up in the video, so they flag it. And usually it's fine in the United States, but somewhere in like Russia or somewhere else, it'll sometimes flag it, and I get that notice on the back end. So for that, I could replace the audio with something different. I wouldn't have to take down the video, and it would just do it for me. So just a cool thing for anyone who likes YouTube, lives on YouTube, just makes your life a little bit easier, which is great. And then our last updates are actually from Social Coach. So not too many platform updates this month, but I do think Instagram had some interesting ones. But for us, we had an update to our caption writing tool. So for anyone who knows or doesn't know, if you go in and you try to post through Social Coach, we have a caption generator that is keyword based. So you can type in, hey, why are 2-1 down, or why are 2-1 buy downs great for first time buyers? And then we will generate a compliant caption for you on that topic. Well, we had the thought of like, well, hey, if you guys are taking the time to do a script or upload a video, you probably already have a lot that we can pull from for that caption. So this new button that says Magic Summarize, if you have a video that you've recorded or you've uploaded, when you hit that Magic Summarize button, it will take the transcript of your video and use that to create the caption. So I thought this was really cool. It just makes it a little bit easier to make sure it's on topic, on theme, and using the right keywords. So if you're being super specific about certain keywords in your transcript, in your video, then the caption generator will automatically bring those into your caption. So just a cool little update that makes your life easier, makes it a little more tailored to you. And hopefully it will also sound more like your voice because you are speaking the way your video script is telling you, right? You're speaking out loud, you're adding your own personality, then this Magic Summarize will pull from that to make your caption. So just a cool update. And if anyone didn't know that we have an AI caption writer for you, go check it out because now it's even better. And it will, just so you know, let you know if there's any flagged phrases or blocked phrases. And if you just rerun it a second time, so what'll happen is if you hit Magic Summarize, it'll write a caption for you. And then if there are any words that happen to be flagged or blocked, it will tell you that. And then you can just say, hey, can you generate that caption again? And it will add a little line that says, do not use any flagged or blocked phrases. And then it will give you one that's compliant. So the reason why I like it this way is that way, if you're seeing those words surface in your caption, it is probably also in your video transcript, which might mean that your video transcript could get blocked. So it might be a good signal to say, ooh, maybe I need to double check that video or ask the video team to edit that word out when I'm speaking so that my video doesn't get blocked by whatever compliance guidelines my coach has set. Thumbs up if that makes sense to everybody. Just want to make sure. I know it was a little convoluted at the end there, but cool. Okay, great. I'm glad we're following along. So yeah, go check that out. If you ever want a demo or a walkthrough of any of these updates, you can email our support team. It's support@socialcoach.io. They'd be happy to walk you through it. And then just a reminder, last month I talked about this, but I think it's a pretty big deal. So just wanted to re-highlight. We also added more in-depth analytics to our social insights. Now this is only on desktop. Same thing for that caption Magic Summarize, by the way. These are on the desktop experience right now, hopefully coming to mobile soon. But if you go into the desktop and you see these social insights that say, hey, you've got 26 comments on your posts, you can now click on that comment box and it will pull up which posts got all those comments, right? So if you're always like, oh, shoot, was that the one I posted on Facebook or LinkedIn? Was it from last week or was it today's post? I'm not sure. You can open that up. You can see which posts are getting those comments. And then if you click that little lit up icon under post that has, the LinkedIn symbol, it will open the post for you on your browser so that you can then go on that post and respond to all those comments super easy. So you can go back and look last 7 days, 30 days, 90 days, all of that. So if you're ever like, oh, I might have missed some comments here or there, might be a good idea to open this up on your computer and go check really quickly. But we love this. It makes it so easy to go in and check on those comments, reactions, shares. It really makes it easy for you to see which posts are getting those without having to dive into each platform individually, because I know those analytics can get a lot on the back end. All right. Thumbs up if we're excited about those updates, because I certainly am. So those are our social coach updates, platform updates for this month. Now we're going to pivot into content tips. Oh, Peyton, thank you for the clapping. I appreciate it. And Phil, thank you for the thumbs up here too. I appreciate that. So we're going to move into content tips. Now, this is going to go a little bit differently than normal because I went to a conference last week, everybody. It was called Social Media Marketing World 2026. It was big. It was a big deal. I went to a million sessions. There were a million more I wanted to go to, but I couldn't be in 6 rooms at once. So I will be continually watching those sessions and bringing in my top learnings from them back to you. Now, what I thought was super cool is at this conference, I learned a lot of cool new perspectives and a few small tricks and tips, but I did not learn anything like so mind blowing that I was like, oh, I've completely missed this. And the good news is that means for you guys, you aren't missing anything either. So everything that they told me, I was like, I have been saying this for a while. And I've been telling you guys this, which means you're ahead of the curve, even for most marketers. A lot of the marketers at this event were taking notes. And I'm like, oh, yeah, like we're talking about hooks and call to actions. We've been there, right? You guys know you've been in boot camp. We've all been in here together. So you guys are on the cutting edge of hearing all the social media updates by being here, by coming to boot camp. But I'm going to give you the content tips that I think are a little bit extra or phrased in a different way that I really thought were valuable. So thumbs up if we're excited and ready to go, because I certainly was. So one of my learnings that was super easy. Oh, great. Thank you guys. I love seeing all the thumbs ups and I know I'm just talking at you, but it makes me feel good. We're all in this together. So number one, this was even not from a session. I was talking to someone who runs a social media agency where they do social media on behalf of all their clients. And she was like, well, are you posting on your Google Plus profile? I was like, no, we're not. I hadn't thought of that. She's like, well, you should, because Google, right, is super pulled in for ChatGPT, for AI tools, for LLMs, all of those. She's like, posting on your Google profile gets really optimized for the search and the AI when they're pulling answers. So obviously anything living on your business profile gets pulled in for that a lot more easily. So it can really boost your visibility for organic and search results, and it can help drive more traffic to your website. And so I was asking her, I was like, well, oh my gosh, okay, like what should I be posting? Do I need to create new content or ads? Does it need to be something specific? And she's like, no, honestly, just take something you're already posting on social media and at least once a week, just make sure you're tossing it and uploading it to your Google Plus profile. So for anyone who has like a business profile on Google, I think this is a great tip, especially my marketers out there who have a bigger brand. If you have company updates, cool spotlights, new programs you're announcing, those are great things to pull in. But for anyone else, if you're like, oh, I don't want more work, just take something you're already posting and maybe try putting it on your Google business profile. Especially for my individuals in here, my loan officers, my real estate agents, new listings for agents, you should absolutely be, if you're posting about promoting it on social media, put it on Google. I think that'll help index it a lot better. And for my loan officers, any testimonials, reviews, collaborations with industry professionals, or if you're doing client stories or education, right? Your mortgage FAQs, anything that's really good and keyword heavy that you want to get out there, give it a try putting it on Google Plus. So we will be doing this as well as social coach. I thought this was super cool, but that's just a random tidbit I got from chatting up and networking with somebody. So take that for what you will. Another little one that I heard in one of the sessions is they were advising that people turn on Reels translation. So this was a feature that I think we brought it up a few months back, but Instagram announced where you can go into your settings and you'll notice here that in the settings, it says language and translation, and you can turn it on so that for your videos, it will use AI to translate those to other languages. Now, I think for anyone who's bilingual, this is super important, right? If you're not bilingual and you want to reach other language speaking audiences, this could be a great way to test expansion. The one thing I would say is, especially because we're in a service-based industry, I would make sure that we're not being misleading to where someone might reach out to you thinking, oh my gosh, you speak Spanish, you can help me with this. And then you would let them think that to get the business, right? We maybe don't want to do that. So I would say using this to expand and get your video more reach, shown to other people in other languages, could be really awesome to try. Especially, again, if you're already bilingual, this just makes it easy. It does it for you automatically. So you can post one video in English and it will translate it to Spanish and to other languages, which is pretty cool. So if you're going to test this, I would say start with your most helpful evergreen videos. So first-time buyer tips, any process breakdowns, FAQs, stuff like that. And then you can go into your settings here in Instagram. It's under settings and activity, language, and then you want to turn this on in the back end. So that's a cool thing you could try. You could either do this for individual reels on Instagram after it's been posted, or you could go in your settings and just turn that on for all of them and see what happens there. And the goal here isn't to translate everything or make it seem like you're bilingual. It's just to make your best content go further because it can reach other audiences, right? So wanted to highlight that. It's not a platform update, but it is just a tip I was hearing from multiple people. Gwen says Instagram updated this for scheduled reels too. So you can turn this on when you're scheduling a reel and it will let your audience know that it's AI transcribed. So yes, Gwen, absolutely. And I think that this little toggle here where it says translate voice means that the AI even takes the cadence of your voice and how you sound and uses AI to try to mimic that, which is really interesting. So it tries to make it sound like you, not like an AI bot. However, I will say if it's AI, there may be mistakes in there at times. You know, it might, especially if you don't have super clear audio, you know, motorcycle drives by while you're talking, that's going to be challenging for it to try to translate. And it might get it a little wrong. So something to note there, but I do think it's a cool feature to worth trying if you want to reach more people and more audiences. And thanks for that comment, Gwen. Nice, definitely nice to know. Okay. And then we had some really fun video tips. So I have a couple slides here on this. Now, I just pulled together some of the notes I had because there were so many different sessions on videos. And a lot of them talked about a lot of the things we talk about in boot camp and here, right? Have a really strong hook, focus on watch time, make sure you're using a visual hook and a text hook, all the stuff we've gone over, right? So I tried to pull in the ones that really were either emphasized over and over or were ones that I think are harder to implement even if we know we should be doing them. So number one was series content. And I know I talk about this in boot camp. I know I tell people, hey, if you have a series, it's so easy to keep your content going, right? Because you know, oh, every time this happens, I'm going to make a video about it. Or you just know, oh, I'm going to do part 1 through 17 of this exact video. Now, what they were saying in a lot of these sessions is that it especially helps if you use some sort of challenge or goal-oriented series, right? So you've probably seen people being like, hey, day 1 of me trying to achieve this goal, or hey, I'm going to post until I get my first client. Can come with me as I try to get my first client as a loan officer, right? Something like that. What it does is it gets people really invested. It makes us want to cheer you on and want to watch the progress and go, oh yeah, I want to see when you finally hit this goal. As long, maybe it's your first client, maybe it's, hey, my goal is to try to help a home buyer get to save this much amount of money on their next loan. Let's see if I can do it, right? Something like that, where we're invested and we're there with you and we want to watch the process. Now, the funniest part is they use this example of this account. It's called Guy Kicking Rock. So I think we can all imagine what's happening. I'm going to show you the video really quick just so you can see. But this video, just to preface, got 25 million views on TikTok. So keep in mind, this is series content, but let me show you what's happening here.
Rock while I walk until it turns into a sphere, day 1.
Distance kicked, 1.3 miles. Rolling craziness, 9 out of 10. Materials kicked on concrete, brick, pavement.
Okay, so that is the whole video right there. So it's a guy who kicks a rock and just kind of gives you some rankings of, okay, how much is it rolling? What did I kick it on? And he posted every day for weeks to show everyone how the rock was getting rounder and rounder and rounder. And there's multiple things about this that I think are hilarious, right? Number one, it just proves you can make a series about anything, even kicking rocks. But number two, I think this was really smart because so many people jumped in and were like, I've been here since the beginning. This was what I always thought as a kid, and my parents always told me not to. Like it just made people have fun with it and get invested. So then what's cool about it is, he posted 12 weeks later, he got lots and lots of views on all of these videos. So he kept the series going and he would eventually show that the rock became pretty spherical and rolled really well and all these things. But what's even cooler about this, and I thought this was marketing genius because I did some digging, you guys. And what I noticed is on his bio, he says, I kick a rock and I'm in a band called Wavy McGrady. And I was like, interesting. I was like, okay, so the rock is just a for fun thing. What he's really trying to promote is his band. And this account, Guy Kicking Rock, got 1.1 million followers and his videos are getting like 25 million views. So I sat there and I was like, I wonder if he promotes anything with his band using these accounts. And I was like, sure enough, on week 12 update, he's using a song from his band for the video, for the background of the video. So he uses the AI voice to describe it, but he's putting this song in the background. So I was like, okay, he's definitely got a bunch of people clicking on this link and interested in the sound because 25 million people watch this video. Someone's going to be like, hey, that's a cool song. What is it? So I went to their profile as a band, and sure enough, they have 100,000 followers. So I just wanted to show, right? Your content doesn't always have to be directly tied to mortgage to do well and to direct back in a funnel. However, you do want to be thinking, how am I connecting this in a way that actually gives me business? If you got 25 million views on a video of you kicking a rock, cool. But does that mean your phone's ringing and you're closing any leads from that? No, not unless you're tying it together like this guy did by saying, I'm in a band, follow my band, here's the music from my band. Now I'm here because you're kicking a rock, but I'm also like, oh, maybe I'll check out your band while I'm here because this was funny. I'm invested. I've been here for 3 weeks. Let me see what this guy's about. And you'll notice that, hey, this main account has 1 million followers. His band account only has 100,000. But hey, I don't think anyone here would scoff at 100,000 followers, right? You'd be pretty excited and going, hey, if I could reach that level of audience, I'm excited. So I just wanted to show that with series, it doesn't always have to be anything complicated or over the top, but it is something that you want people to be invested in. And when we sit there and we go, oh, this is day 1, I'm going to check back in on day 7 and day 30 and day 29, or not 29, 79 and whatever, you're going to get people who want to follow you and keep coming back for your content, right? So maybe you're giving really good mortgage tips, but if you're giving a different tip every day and I don't know when the next one is, I may not be compelled to come back. But if you're like, hey, mortgage tip number 7 that most loan officers won't tell you. Now I know, oh, there were 6 other ones. And if I liked this tip, maybe I should go make sure I like all those other tips too, right? Now suddenly I know that there's more and I know that more is coming. And so I'm likely to come back and keep sticking around. So series content is huge. Another example here, he said day 90 of reviewing a reel every day until I hit 1 million. And then he put like the current totals on there. So even just viewing his profile, you can see this one got 20,000 views on this video, but it's super, super clear without even me clicking into the video, what I'm getting, what's happening. And I know it's day 90, which is pretty impressive. Day 90 of reviewing a reel every single day. Pretty cool. So series content. If you're not doing a series yet, go brainstorm because that could be your key to going viral somewhere, or at least helping people know to come back and be invested continually in your content. The other thing, pacing and perspective. Those were 2 things people talked about a lot. They were like, hey, if we're too slow in our pacing, people get bored. That's where you tend to lose watch time, right? So making sure that with our hooks, we're not taking too long to get to the point, to make sure that we're not hitting a lull in the video where we're pausing or we're taking a deep breath or we're not talking fast enough. I think that's a big one too. A lot of us, we're not used to video. And so maybe we slow down, especially if we're reading a script. But if we're reading super slowly, the pacing might be kind of slow. People might get a little bored. They might scroll. So just little things like that that we can think of when we're getting more comfortable with video is, hey, how do I keep the pacing up so that this doesn't feel like it has pauses or gaps in the video that might give people a chance to scroll? And then on the other side of that, perspective, I think, can go both with the visual and with the type of content you're posting. So is your perspective clear in the content you're sharing? Are you giving me generic tips or are you telling me I stand by these tips? These are the best tips the loan officer will ever give you, right? Your perspective, your values, your opinions, those are really great to be putting in your content because in this day and age, anyone can Google and anyone can ask ChatGPT. But what I want to know is what do you find valuable? What are your convictions? What is your perspective as someone with 20 years of experience? Chat doesn't have 20 years of experience. It's pulling from anyone who's ever put anything on the internet ever, which could be accurate or not. But you have all this experience in your market with certain buyer types. And if you're putting that perspective and that experience into your content, it makes it a lot stickier and a lot more trustworthy in a way that something generic just won't, right? Oh, I'm seeing something from Kathy here. Yesterday, I read a random post of a woman who met a guy at the grocery store, didn't get his name and described him. Now there are 99 comments people have invested and trying to suggest how to meet them again. Okay, yes. So yes, see, literally human interaction is the point of social media. And I think we forget, right? We're so busy trying to be polished and trying to come up with the perfect series that'll go viral that sometimes we forget. Sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, I saw this cute guy at the grocery store. do we think I'll see him again? And then everyone's like, well, tell me what he looks like. Like, well, look, if you're in this area, it's not that hard to find him. Everyone's online. I bet we could find him. Maybe he'll see this video, right? Everybody gets invested. They're in the comments. And exactly, you can get 99 comments just by being like, look who I saw in the grocery store, right? So remembering to ask questions, ask opinions, act like you're talking with someone in a group chat, not just broadcasting information, right? You kind of want to sit there and be like, what are you embarrassed of your credit score, or are you proud of it? Or do you know if it's good compared to other people's? Like, let's talk about it. Like, put it in the comments and I'll help give you my advice as a loan officer, right? That's a lot more compelling than here's what a good credit score is for a loan. Right? Even my voice changed because I knew that was going to be boring. Sorry, everyone. Right? But just thinking about, hey, you can be yourself. You don't have to be the perfect, polished, professional version of yourself. We're just trying to get people interested. And half of that is being real, being authentic, and putting your personality into it, your perspective, your humor, your dogs, whatever you want, your pets. I love seeing those, all of it. Movement and transitions. So if we can see in this video, even with the rock kicking, right, it's giving us something to watch without getting bored because we're watching him kick it over and over and there's constant movement on the screen. So if you're someone who every video you record is sat at your desk and you don't move, movement might be something that you want to try incorporating. I tell people, hey, keep it simple. All you can do is just like start your video by sitting down and looking at the camera and then talking, right? That just gives us a little bit of like, oh, you came and sat down. Or an easy one is if you pick up an object and you're holding it while you talk. Sometimes that just gives us something to be like, oh, I'm looking at it, or you're moving, and you probably feel a little bit more natural while that's happening, right? Or if you're in a spinny chair like me, that just gives you a little bit of visual movement that can help. That's why you'll see a lot of people on walks, a lot of people sitting in their car, a lot of people eating or seeming like they're mid-lunch when they're on video. It's because it gives us something to look at while they're talking to us. Transitions too. I just posted a video last week on LinkedIn and Instagram about camera transitions, like covering the camera and then changing it or jumping and doing a jump cut. Fun transitions like that can help just make your content look a little bit more interesting without being super, super complicated. Another comment here, Peyton. I also noticed that videos that don't feel forced or take a ton of effort do so much better than the ones we spend hours brainstorming, editing, and filming because it feels more natural. I agree with you. I will say I think TikTok especially rewards the authentic feel. And something that they did talk about in this conference was that there's two types of videos that tend to do really well. And I think this is more particular to Instagram. And they said either they called them yapping videos, and they're like literally there is no editing, probably terrible lighting. You're probably holding the phone under your chin and you're just talking at the camera, right? It's just literal, hey, I turned my phone on and I am not editing it. I'm just yapping and I'm telling a story. That tends to do really well even without editing because usually you're sitting there going, you guys, let me tell you the craziest mortgage story I've ever had, right? You don't need to edit that. We're sad. We want to know. We want the tea, right? Versus something that's super, super highly edited. Now, they were saying that if you do the really cinematic, high level editing, that can do really well too. But what we're noticing is you got to cut every 3 to 5 seconds to really keep people invested. So it's kind of interesting. I would recommend trying a mix of like some edited videos that are polished, but also don't be afraid to be a little bit funnier, have some experimentation, pop into frame, like, stand off frame and like pop your head in and be like, hey, can I tell you a mortgage tip really quick? Like sometimes if you're just being silly and fun, it helps us relax and want to be involved instead of when we're all sat at a desk in a camera, we're like, okay, here we go. We get a little, I'm scrolling for fun and suddenly like, oh, I'm in a job interview. Hold on, right? You don't want to feel too tense. So Peyton, great tip. I totally agree with you there. The other thing, clean endings for longer watch time. So definitely have your call to actions in there, but try not to like drag out your ending super long. They were saying that if you can cut it right at the maximum value, that is going to make it more likely for people to loop and rewatch your video, right? So if you tell a whole story and you're like, oh my gosh, and here's the craziest part, this is what happened. If you want more, follow me for part 2, or tell me what you think in the comments, follow for whatever. You just want to keep that really short and brief. And then the odds that video starts replaying and maybe they're like, oh, I want to hear that story again. Or, oh, wait, I missed part of that. What was it? That's where you want to get those replays. So just clean endings. Try not to have that drag out super long. And the biggest thing that I think I took away from it is all of the packaging of your video matters. So the packaging that I'm talking about is the text hook. So you can see here on the screen, day 90 of reviewing a reel every day until I hit 1 million. What if you just said reviewing a reel every day? Okay, I don't care. good for you, dude. You're doing that. You're reviewing a reel every day. I don't know what that means really. I don't know why. Whereas if he's like day 90 of doing this until I hit this, right? Or if he said reviewing bad reels every day until someone who follows me goes viral, right? We're like, oh, now I get why you're doing this every day and I'm invested in the result, right? So the text hook, which also counts as the title, but some platforms like YouTube, they let you put in a video title, right? Your thumbnail. So that's the picture that people see on the profile before they watch the video. So a lot of us, if we're just posting raw videos, maybe go check your profile and go scroll down and look and see what it looks like, right? And see if you're like, oh yeah, it's just a lot of like my face at a desk, but there's no text on screen to tell me what the video is about, or they all look the same. That might be, something that doesn't make people want to click. Right? If I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, I just have like 100 photos of someone staring at me from a desk, but I don't know anything about what these videos are about, I'm not as likely to click in and watch them. Whereas if you have a little text thumbnail title above you in every video that says the number one reason why first-time home buyers feel stuck right now, or the number one down payment assistance program I recommend to new buyers, ooh, I might be more likely to click into those because they speak to me and I can identify that before I even click into the video, right? And then, of course, your hook, which we've talked about, the first 3 seconds of your video, so important. And they were saying that all of those things together, when you nail those can win you the first 30 seconds of trust and watch time. If you do all of those right, someone is willing to stick around for longer to say, okay, is this video valuable or not? You've given me a really good hook. You've clearly indicated who it's for, what it's about. All right, I'm sat, you've got me for at least 30 seconds. And then if I get bored, I'm out, right? But you're getting me to buy into at least the beginning. And if you can do that, 30 seconds of watch time, your skip rate, that's definitely in the 30 to 40% range. You guys are going to be doing great. Some of your videos probably are only 10 seconds long if you're doing the B-rolls or the trends, right? So packaging your videos in a way that makes sense is great. And for my social coach users, we do the thumbnail for you, so you don't need to worry there. However, if you ever have like a specific hook or specific wording that you want on that thumbnail, you can just put that in the special request box for your video projects. Just say, make the thumbnail this title, and we can do that. I will say smaller titles. Don't do like, above 8 words tends to get too small to read and a little convoluted. So I typically recommend 8 words or less for your title. But if you want to recommend one to us, great, we'll take it. If not, we'll do it for you automatically and we'll just choose something that we think sounds interesting. All right, but focus on your packaging. Ooh, we've got another comment. I also noticed that videos, oh no, that's the same. Okay, sorry, I thought I saw a new comment. Sorry, Peyton. Still a great tip. Okay, moving on. I had so much to share this week. We're gonna have to move a little faster. Okay, so top performing hooks. This is the other thing they talked about. Keep it simple. So literally they were like less than 12 words. The less words in your hook, the better. And I wish I've tried to look for this guy's these exact 2 example videos. This is a picture of one of the slides from one of the presentations. I wanted to play the videos for you, but essentially what he was saying is he had a hook that was 21 words long and it took him 5 seconds to say the hook out loud. And then he did a video again of the same topic, but he changed the hook. And it was only 4 words long and it took him 2 seconds to be. And then he put this text on screen that said, I recommend having some sort of cut in your video, right? He was like, here's why you should have cuts in your video or something shorter because it was only 4 words. But the shorter hook that was clearer got 700,000 views. Whereas the one before that still did really well. He has a big following. It got 70,000. But that's 10 times the amount of views just by making the hook shorter and easier to understand. Right? So he was saying, he's like, a lot of people try to go really convoluted. You want someone to be able to understand the hook really easily, no matter who they are, right? No matter if English is their second language, no matter how their age is. If you're using USDA loan, people may not know what that is, right? How can we make that language super, super simple and clear for anybody? And then some of the top performing hook frameworks I heard people mentioning, time versus outcome. So how you can do this in 6 months, how you can save X amount of money, how you can buy a home in 6 months, how you can make sure your pre-approval doesn't expire after 3 months. I don't know, whatever you want to say, right? An ultra clear promise. So give me 90 seconds and I will guarantee you, or maybe don't say guarantee, sorry, but give me 90 seconds and I can help you do this by this, right? By what I'm sharing. curiosity, urgency, right? So what happens if you do this? Or what happens when a buyer makes this kind of move? Let me tell you what's going on, right? And honestly, just no fluff, direct problem statements are also great. So something like mortgage strategies, I would ban as a loan officer, right? Okay, cool. That's good to know. That's controversial, maybe. I kind of want to know. It sounds like you're sharing behind the scenes information that is direct. I'm invested, right? So these were just some of the ones that I pulled out that I was writing down as everyone was talking. I was like, ooh, that's a good one. I like that structure. And then they talked more about video in general. I'm going to go a little faster, you guys, because we haven't even hit the trends and we've only got 10 minutes left. But they set up a system. A lot of them outsource their video editing. So those of you using Social Coach to do your video editing, you are basically a pro, is what I'm telling you. But essentially, they don't waste their time on editing, right? They say, hey, I've got a system. I outsource the time-consuming parts like editing. I commit to a low-effort routine. So I have templates. I have types of videos that I know work really well for me. That part is hard for us as, maybe not super big influencer viral people yet. You may not know exactly what types of content work for you, but you might notice, oh, my trending videos always do a little bit better, or my B-roll videos always do a little bit better. Okay, and if those are lower effort, let's work those in a way that makes it really easy to create a sustainable system to create content every month, right? And stay consistent with it. They really recommended, they're like, you can reuse your content. You can. And they're funny. The one guy was so funny. He was like, I have people who go, oh man, like no one saw this video. It was such a good video. No one saw it. I only got like 200 views. And he's like, okay, well, wait a month and then repost it. And they're like, oh, Brock, I can't repost that. Like everyone already saw it. He's like, well, wait a minute. You were just complaining that nobody saw it. And now they can't be both. So I agree with that heartily, right? And honestly, with the amount of content we all consume, like put a thumbs up if you can remember a video that you posted a month ago. I love it. I'm seeing no thumbs. Amazing. Put a thumbs up if you're like, you could probably repost the same content 3 months in a row and I don't think I'd notice, right? Or I'd still think it was valuable. There we go. Thanks, Ricardo. There's the thumbs, right? So just think about it. I know we kind of have this in our brain of like, oh, I shouldn't repeat myself. But honestly, I feel like my teachers always had to repeat themselves. I feel like I'm always like, hey, hook, call to action. Even in this conference that I sat at, all the marketers I talked to, we were all like, we know this already, but they just had to keep bringing us back to the basics and the foundation. And we're all like, yeah. It's harder to do it and to stay consistent with it. So reuse your content, you guys. And that can be as easy as just like re-recording it. Could be as easy as like, hey, let me try a different hook and then keep the rest the same. If you've used a Social Coach script before and you liked it, take it, do it again. Maybe you're in a different setting. Maybe you run it through ChatGPT to personalize it a little bit more, but don't be afraid to hit on the same topics over and over. And then you have to stick with it long-term. This was the other part, is they're like, you got to stick with it. You got to be consistent. They were saying, even if you post once a week, do that. If you can do it for a year straight, you will see growth. You will see results, right? But if you're someone who's sporadic and you're not sticking with it, it's just much less likely to happen because they don't know how to stick with you. And the last little bonus that I loved, they were saying a lot of them have figured out ways to automate processes with a personal touch. And this was cool because this is what we built Social Coach to do, right? We want to help you guys automate your content so you're not having to focus on it every single day, but you still need to be in your content and we still want it to feel personal to your audience. So they were saying, hey, a couple people were like, I've seen a ton of success where I use ManyChat or some sort of automated DM follow-up. And whenever I get a new follower or a comment, I have it automatically send a voice memo that I've already recorded or a video that I've already recorded. That's just like, hey, thanks for the comment. Super awesome to engage with you. If you have any questions for me or anything I can help you with, feel free to DM me or book time on my calendar. The link's in my bio. I'd love to chat with you. Right? So you're not saying anyone's name. It could apply to any video. You're not saying, thanks for commenting on my down payment video. You're just saying, hey, thanks for the comment and the engagement. Awesome to have you. Let me know if you ever want to reach out. You could record one voice memo or one video, set that up to automatically send to everybody who engages with you. And apparently for a lot of these pros, they're like, this starts a lot of great conversations, a lot of good DMs, a lot of good things that end up moving into leads and into a funnel. So what I would recommend is we have a product in Social Coach that does this for you guys. It's called My Video Pages. It doesn't do the DM automation. Sorry, I should clarify. But any of your video catalyst videos that you've made, or if you want to use our teleprompter to make a video, you can create one in My Video Pages and it creates a shareable link. So then you could either have that video downloaded out of Social Coach and use it in DM automation to send it, or you could just send that link. And that link is compatible for email and text as well. So I know I've talked about these before, but what a lot of people don't know is in our library, we also have a section of scripts called loan milestone scripts. And I want everyone to use these. You guys, if you ever are running out of time to use your social coach credits and they're going to expire, make these. Because what I've done is I've created some scripts where you don't say anybody's name and they hopefully hit on videos that you would send to people over and over and over. So as long as you don't say like, hi, David, right? You don't say that at the beginning. You just go, hey, it's your loan officer, Ashley, or, hey, it's your social media coach, Ashley. I just wanted to check in. Your pre-approval is going through. Blah, 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 blah. You say what you want. You say, hey, I just wanted to follow up. You can click below if you want to text or call me with any questions, and I'll follow up with next steps later, right? So if you go into our script library and you just scroll down, you can't search it because the category doesn't show up. It'll give you scripts with that keyword instead of the category. But if you go into our script library and you scroll down to loan milestones, I have 8 scripts in there. Put them in ChatGPT and personalize them if you want. But again, don't say anybody's name. And then you can just record it so it looks like this. You could put those in your CRM, newsletters, send them out, but you could automatically deploy these to your clients or anyone you're working with. You could even have one that goes out every Friday to all your connected agents, right? That says, hey, I hope you're having a good weekend. If there's anything I can help with this weekend, let me know. I'm always here to help you out, right? Who wouldn't want to get a message like that on maybe not every Friday, but on Fridays being like, oh, wow, like you're checking on me. You really care about me. This is awesome, right? So the idea of creating evergreen content that you record this video one time, you look good, you sound good, you're happy with it, but you can automate the way it's sent out to feel personal is huge. And that's where a lot of these pros are seeing a lot of traction. So check out my video pages. Thanks, Phil. Phil says, I love that idea. So I love that. So thank you all. That is MVP. Please keep going and using it. It's awesome. It's a cool feature. And you can record your screen with that one too, by the way. So if anyone's like, oh, I want to do like a loan breakdown, or I want to walk through a certain piece of our documentation or our process that everyone finds confusing, just don't say a name and just say, hey, I wanted to walk you through this. A lot of people find it confusing. Walk through the whole thing with your screen, make it an MVP or a video page. And then you can send that out every time you get someone emailing you like, I don't really get this part of it. You can just send that tutorial. Or you could even be like, hey, just in case you're confused, I already made this. Here you go. And they're going to think you just sat there and spent 20 minutes doing that for them. And instead, you did it once. You've never had to touch it again. You get all the views, all the traction. It's amazing. Okay. I'm going to go over this one quickly because I already talked about repurposing your content, but repurpose your content every 90 days. He showed us this grid. If you look at this, all of the colored videos on this grid are reposted content, either strictly like 100% just, oh, this was a year old and I posted it again, or he kind of redid it in a new format or recycled it. But only 1, 2, 3, 4 videos of, I don't know even how many are on the screen. Only 4 of them were new. And he posts multiple times a day. So I thought that was really cool to see. So for you guys just to think about, oh, I bet I got a lot of videos or a lot of content I've done that I could either reuse, re-record now that, my haircut's different or whatever's going on, and not feel like, oh my gosh, I'm always running out of content ideas. And then I put it on here. I'm going to run through this super quick, but it was cool to see that you could turn one video script into 5 posts pretty easily. So what they said, they're like, if you take your video transcript and you go share it as tweets. So you can only have a certain number of characters, but you're tweeting out different lines of your script in like a thread, right? So you put the first hook and then you keep retweeting underneath it. If you screenshot those tweets, then you can turn that into a carousel, right? So a multiple post one where you swipe through and your face and your username are on those already. So you're not having to go in and design anything and your face is tied to it. So if someone decides to reshare one part of the carousel, your branding is on every slide. I thought that was really smart. So you do that. So that's already 2 posts. You've done a video script and then you're posting it as a carousel. Then they were like, take that video topic and do it in 3 ways. Do your script of the talking head video, then turn it into a trend somehow. Take that same topic and make it a trend. Use a trend to like repackage it. And then the third one is do a B-roll, right? Which is where you record yourself for like 10 seconds and you put the text on the screen. So you don't want to put the whole video transcript, right? That's probably too long, but you can distill that down to like 3 main bullet points, put that in text on screen. Now you've got 3 videos. So you've gotten 3 videos in a carousel from one script, whether it's a social coach script or something you've made yourself. Then he was like, take that transcript, plug it into chat, ask it to turn it into a LinkedIn article or a blog. Now that's really helpful for SEO. That gets you another LinkedIn post. Now you have one idea, you've turned into 5 posts. And then you schedule them this month, then you wait 90 days, you redo it a little bit, or you use the same ones, and you post them again 90 days later. So now you have 10 posts, 15 posts, 20 posts from one idea. And I thought that was insane and super, super smart. All right. So another tip, go through your existing calls, meetings, the questions you get asked every single day, write those down, and then you can take this run through of, okay, how can I turn that into 5 different types of content? Then you're probably not going to worry about content anymore. You're going to be like, oh, this is so easy. And it's great. It's a nice process. Okay, I'm almost done, you guys, and then we'll get to trends, I promise. Top takeaways. I'm just going to rapid fire through these. These were literally just the last things that I cobbled together from all the different sessions. One, someone told us, Shannon McKinstry, I loved her. She said, talk about what your audience is scared to. And I love that. I think we say pain points, we say challenges, we all have these buzzwords that we talk about. But she was like, no, really, like, what is your audience scared to ask? What are they scared to talk about? And I think you guys more than anyone know what that feels like, because we're in an industry where people have, you know, big dreams that maybe they think they can't achieve, or it's a lot about finances, which can be really sensitive. There's a lot of shame around, like, oh, I have a really bad credit score, I have a lot of debt. I don't know. So if you can be the one to say, hey, I have clients who don't want to talk about this, but let me tell you what I tell them, or let me show you, you might think this is a terrible credit score and you can never buy a home. Let me show you the difference, right? Let me show you how you can. That is speaking to the fears that they have. And when you can do that, right? I think about it all the time. When something comes up on my feed that I'm like, I have never said that out loud to anybody. How the heck did you know that? That builds trust in you as an expert, because you know your audience so well. You see me that now I want to work with you and no one else, because you understood what was going on in my head without me even having to say it, right? And you're building that trust to get me to reach out to you, which is so, so cool. Low views from the right audience are always better than more views from anyone. This was a point I had to drive home. In boot camp, anyone who's come through boot camp with me, and I've asked you, what's your target audience? You always know, everyone knows, I say everyone is not an answer. It's a non-answer, right? Because if you're trying to talk to everybody, you're kind of talking to nobody. So what I loved is one of these guys, he was a big YouTube expert. He goes, I would rather have 5 views on a video and have those be the right 5 views than have 10,000 views from people who are never going to buy from me, never going to use me, not the right audience whatsoever. And I think that's something we forget about, right? We get really hung up on, oh, well, only 200 people saw my video. Okay. But what if 5 of them wanted to buy with you? What if 5 of them really, really found that video valuable? Awesome. Okay. So don't always focus on views and more and bigger and numbers. I want you to focus on, how do I speak to the right people? How am I talking to the exact client to take them from, oh, I don't know if I can afford a home, to, oh my gosh, Brandy gave me the best advice. Yeah, I can buy a home right now. I know how to do this now, right? Maybe I'm a single mom and I thought that would be way too hard, but she just showed me how to do it. Or, oh, maybe, I don't know, I'm in my 20s and I live in Orange County and I just feel like I'm overpriced. I just can't afford it down here. But someone else is walking me through, let me show you the hidden neighborhoods in Orange County that you really can afford. And let me show you why it's a smart decision, right? Because the home values appreciate and all the things. You guys know this. I don't, but you guys do. So go make content there. And as a reminder, nobody sees the bad stuff anyway, right? Same thing. If you're like, oh, that was a bad video and it flopped. Okay, nobody saw it. So do it again, do it better. It doesn't matter. It's still out there. I don't think you have to delete anything, right? It lives there. It could be something that someone stumbles upon and finds really helpful. But I hear a lot of people being like, well, I'm really worried that everyone's going to see me do something embarrassing or be bad on camera. I'm like, well, if it's really that bad, no one will watch it. No one will see it. So we don't need to be embarrassed, right? So just go out there and find your audience, find the right people. Your personal brand is your differentiator. And I know that sounds, again, like but perspective, opinions, convictions, values. Your brand is not your company. Your brand is not the programs you offer. Your brand is how you treat people, how you make them feel, what types of clients come to you. It's the thing that they say at the closing table, right? Whenever they're like shaking your hand, like, thank you so much. Like, we didn't think we could do this and you made it happen. Or, oh, we were so worried when things started to go south, but you turned us around. That is your brand. So focus on those points and turn that into content. And I know sometimes that feels a little like, oh, I don't want to brag, but you want to show, this is what I do. This is what I value. This is how I want my clients to feel. And by showing that, it then makes us want to be your clients because we want to be treated that way, right? And then revenue lives in conversations. I think that was I loved the way that was phrased, of your emotions, your opinions, specifics, the DMs, the comments. That's where the revenue lives, right? If you're just blasting out content and you're not really starting those conversations, you're not getting people to engage and think critically and ask questions, that's where you're not really tapping into the right thing. So all of that, I think, works together. And then this last slide, there is a system and strategy to growing. I can learn it. People dumber than me are already doing it. I just thought that was hilarious. She was like, in case anyone needs the reminder, okay? There are people out here. Everyone has different skill levels, different expertise, different, lengths of time they've been in this industry. There are people out there, and I'm sure some of you can think of them, who are doing it maybe not as good as you, right? So we can all, and I don't mean that in a mean way. I mean it in a, let's all be more confident in ourselves, right? We should all be putting it out there. You can do it. No one is sitting here making fun of you or blaming you or trying to say, I don't want to see this from you. We want the content. So I want to see Amanda and Barbara and Brandy and Carla. I want to see all of you, David and Peyton and Jennifer. Sorry, I'm calling all your names out, but I want to see content from you. I want to see your perspective, and thumbs up if we feel like we can do that, because I'd love to see that from all of you. Okay, and then I promise we're getting into trends. Thank you. Look at all those thumbs up. Oh my gosh, I'm excited. Okay, I'm going to race through these because I know I'm already over time. Sorry, everybody. But so much learning, and hopefully you guys are finding this valuable and you're liking it. Okay, the trends. Sweet dreams are made of. I'm going to play this one for you first because I think it makes more sense with the audio. So let me make sure I have the right one. I think it's this one. Here we go. Okay. There we go. Okay. So basically, it was just this girl dancing. You don't have to dance. You could be golfing. You could be doing something in your office. You could show a different clip for each of these. But the lyrics are kind of the part that we're using to do this trend, right? So some of them want to use you. What does that make you think of? If you can think of a topic and then you're going to think of a quick phrase that goes along with each of these lyrics. So this is like a medium level trend, all right? Like it takes some thought, but it can be fun. It should be fun. You should be sitting there going, oh my gosh, that's so good. Yes, right? We don't want this to be so rigid. I don't want to say boring, but we want it to be fun. So this one was real estate explained, right? But I think you could do something like refinancing explained. Some of them want to use you. This is lenders pushing refis without explaining the full cost, right? Or you could say like online lenders, or you could, we could point some fingers. You don't need to name anyone by name, right? But there are people who might push something even if it's not in the client's best interest. And those are the people who want to use you. So you're warning your clients. You're saying, hey, I would not do that to you. Then some of them want to get used by you. Well, you're like, that's me when it benefits you. I would love to be used by you in that way, right? Some of them want to abuse you. Now that's the free refis, right? The ones that hide all the fees in the fine print and don't tell you that. And then some of them want to be abused, right? And so that could be, people waiting for rates to drop, or you could say, hey, down payment assistance programs that no one knows about, right? There's a million ways to phrase this. It does take some creativity. Feel free to brainstorm with your best pal, ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude or whoever. But I thought this one was really fun. And it just takes a little bit of lip syncing, and then you just put the text on screen, and it's that simple. So that's a medium. Okay, this one is an easy. So for anyone who was like, oh, I don't know about that one, that's okay. Not all trends fit your brand, by the way. So if you ever see a trend on here that you're like, yeah, I don't think so, great, don't do it. Doesn't have to fit you. But if you see one that you're like, oh no, that's funny, I got to do that, then you better do it. You got to commit to it. So this one is super, super easy. Let me show you it really quick. Here we go. So here you go. It's you walking. I promise you, all of you can do this. So you're just walking, and then you put text on screen that says, me on my way to tell someone blank. And I would love for you guys to get so specific. I'm going to tell first-time buyers what I really think about the strategy of waiting for rates to drop. I love this one. I'm going to tell all the women who think they need a cosigner to buy a home that they don't. Right? I'm going to tell all the people with credit scores below this who don't think they can buy that I've got the strategy that will help them win. Right? So anything that you are like, I have specific clients who face these specific problems, Honestly, guys, you could record one of these a month and just keep posting these for different clients too. So in terms of reusing content, you could take the same clip of you walking, or maybe you take an extra 10 seconds and do 3 clips in different sidewalks or grass or location, and then you just put different text on this. You could reuse this all year long, once a month. It'd be great. So thumbs up if we like this one. I felt like this one was going to be a big win for everybody because your face doesn't even have to be in it. It's just you walking. And hey, use some fun shoes. So some social personality, could be heels, could be your favorite Nikes. I bet you'll get someone being like, are those Air Jordans? Nah, like make it fun. Okay, we're going to move on quick. I know, sorry guys. Okay, things that make me say ew as a blank. This is also pretty easy and it's great. Let me show you so that you can see it is a lip syncing one. So let me show you really quick.
Yeah. Carly, yeah. Jesse, yeah. Susie, yeah. Holly, yeah. Constance, yeah. And Amanda. Yeah.
Okay, so I just think this was funny, but it's essentially they're just reading out a list of names and you're just reacting ew to all of them. So you can do what she did and just sit here and react to all of them in one clip. Or I think it'd be funny if you do multiple clips, if you like popping out of random places, like leaning or walking through a door and being like, ew, like spinning around in your chair, ew. Like that'll be a little bit like you've got to be a little bit on your editing game or giving it to us and making sure the clips are concise enough that we could split them together for you. But all you're doing is just saying ew and then adding text on screen to be like, what are you talking about? So, right, this agent was like Zestimates, ew, all of that. So for loan officers, you could be like overdrafts on bank statements, undisclosed debt, no disclosure documents, cash deposits without a papers trail, ignoring your credit report, big purchases during escrow. And then you save the big one for last, like I don't need pre-approval. Ew. So good way to show your personality, kind of funny. And again, if you record these and do the ew over and over and over, you could repost this in 3 months and just put different things on screen. Things that make me go ew as a realtor, things that make me go ew as a single mom, things that make me go ew as a loan officer who's been in the business for 20 years, right? You could retitle these as many times as you want. And I see Kathy is asking where these are. So at the end of this, there's 2 more. And then I have a QR code that has a document with all of these linked to it. So I have descriptions, example text, the link to the trending audio, a link to an example video, the ones I have here. And then we add these to the Social Coach script library. We add 1 a week throughout the month so that way you're not getting overwhelmed with all of them at once. It's something that like, hey, I'm going to release this Monday. I'll give you one of the trends, and then next Monday, I'll give you another trend. So you can kind of do these as the month goes on. And then if you're like, hey, I want to knock out a bunch of them in a row, we've got them from all the months before. Go check out the try this trend category in our script library. There's a bunch in there. Try as many as you want, and we can get going there. Oh, and Kathy, I'm sorry, you were asking about the milestone script, but you found them and they're great. Amazing. I'm so glad. Again, feel free to personalize those to your company, to your brand, but don't say anybody's name. That's the number one. You just can't say hi client because then it doesn't work for everybody. But if you're just like, hey, it's Kathy here. Hey, it's Ashley here. Whatever it is, you just act personable, use them forever and ever. But please, I'd love it. Put MVP in the chat if you're going to go try those, because then you are the MVP using MVP, my video pages. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting cheesy today. We're moving on. Yes, Wesley, I love it. Thank you. Okay. This is the last trend. And this is another easy one. Okay. This requires no talking. It's one quick clip. Let me show you. And this one has been everywhere lately. So you guys could even do this one like this week. It'd be so easy. Hallelujah. Sun is out, hallelujah. Okay, so it's literally just a song that says the word hallelujah. And what people are doing with it is they're using it to just list things that make them happy, or that they're like, thank goodness this happened. Yay. So you guys could use this all the time. Again, this could be reused as many times as you want. For loan officers, pre-approval approved, hallelujah. Referral from a past client, hallelujah. And you can put a bunch of these on the screen. I would put them all at once in a list. That's kind of how the trend is doing it. You could technically pop them on in different ways, but I think having the whole list to read through from the beginning is what's going to get you that additional watch time, right? Oh my gosh. And Kathy, today is the National Day of Prayer. For anyone who is religious, this is a great day to make this and post it. But yeah, so you can put a bunch here of just things you want. And the one thing I'll say with all of these trends is try to make them client focused. Right? It is hilarious to us to do them in a way that makes us laugh or makes our colleagues laugh, right? We're like, oh, other loan officers, they're going to get this. But that's not really attracting you new clients, is it? Because they're not going to get it. As a home buyer, I'd be like, maybe that's funny. I don't know. And the biggest thing, try to stay away from things that make the client the butt of the joke, which I know we're all like, oh, of course. But I think sometimes we do trends and it'll be like, oh, I'm like someone acting annoyed. And it's like me when clients call me after hours. Well, okay, like, yeah, we all feel that way, right? But do we want clients to feel like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be doing that, or I shouldn't call her after hours, or that makes her annoyed at me? No, we don't want to do that. So I always try to keep these trends with the lens of what would make your client look at this and be like, oh, cool. So even like pre-approval approved, hallelujah, maybe it's something a little more specific, like got someone pre-approved who didn't need, who thought they couldn't, hallelujah, something like that, something more client specific. Again, these examples that I give you guys have to be more generic so that they work for all of you, but feel free to brainstorm a little bit and think, oh, do I have market specific, niche specific, audience specific, anything you can do to make these hit home a little bit more. But I have an example for LOs, example for agents. This is also easy peasy. And then in terms of what to put on the screen, literally just 10 seconds of you doing something. You could be walking your dog. You could be kicking a rock around your yard. Like literally, I'm telling you, it could be anything. I do think it's nice when it ties a little bit to what you're saying. I would say try to avoid like sitting at your desk and just typing if you can. I think because it doesn't tell me a lot. A lot of people are in offices. That doesn't really tell me who you are or what you do. So if you can get it at a house or shaking hands with somebody, or even just like if you're in an office, like throw some paper up in the air and spin in slow motion and have the hallelujah things on the screen, right? Make it a little more interesting, a little more fun. Oh, good. Someone, Aaliyah, she was like, what is she doing on the video? Just standing there? So I think she's walking towards the camera slowly. So it doesn't have to be drastic movement, but you can see what catches our attention. There's a big house, blue sky, there's the sidewalk. So it's showing a house. So you could even just go outside of, well, maybe don't dox yourself. I was like, you could go outside of your home and do it, but then don't, you may not want people knowing where you live, but you could find a pretty building. You could be at a coffee shop. You could be on the street. I would just say something that involves movement. Don't just sit there and do something like this. That's not super interesting to watch for 10 seconds. Like, again, if you throw papers in the air and spin in slow motion, or if you have a colleague and you guys are like holding hands and skipping in a circle, I think if you can ham it up, it makes it better. Or if you want to go more luxury and more like elusive, it's like you sipping coffee at a table, or you like walking. Think, oh my gosh, does anyone watch The Bachelorette or Bachelor? Think of those weird shots when they're introducing the new people and you can see them and they like lean up against a balcony and like look off into the distance and the camera's just zooming in on them. That's how you want to act, because it's like aesthetic and pretty, but there's still movement. The camera is moving, or you're doing something small and moving, so that we're not just getting bored staring at the same thing. So sorry, there's a random tidbit for you. Bachelorette, be the Bachelorette, be your own Bachelor or Bachelorette in all your content. It's great. Okay, here's the QR code for the trends, everybody, if you'd like to scan it, or if you, for whatever reason, can't scan this, we'll post the recap on YouTube. You can comment trends. We'll make sure you get that link. Don't worry about it. I'm going to leave this up for a quick second so everyone can scan it. In worst case scenario, I'm going to move on, but if anyone doesn't get it, we could drop it in the chat really quick. All right, I'm going to change the slide in 3, 2, 1. Okay, that's what I have for you guys today. Thank you for sticking around. If you want more from Social Coach, please follow us on social media. We try to post tips, trends, entertaining content to help you guys do better, post more, and be more efficient on social media. You can also subscribe to our newsletter, The Huddle. You can also email marketing@socialcoach.io. And if you just put Huddle, we'll make sure you're all signed up and good to go. And then make sure to not miss future sessions. We do these lives every Thursday, not every Thursday, every first Thursday of the month. So we'll keep going. Content tips, platform updates, and those 4 trends that do get uploaded to the library later on. So I'm going to skip to the next slide so you can see that registration code. You can register for all of them and add them to your calendar for all the months to come. If you found this valuable, we super appreciate you being here. Feel free to leave us a review on Google or anywhere if you're a Social Coach user and you enjoy our platform. We super appreciate it. Oh, and Dean, I see that you want the trends document, so let me grab that for you. Here we go, team. I'll put this in the Zoom chat. So if anyone's watching this on streaming, we do have a Zoom chat, or you can continue to watch us live, and hopefully you got that scanned in. No problem. But that's what I've got. If anyone has questions, I can stick around for a tad bit longer, but I know I've kept you guys late as it is. Thank you for being here, and we will see you next month, hopefully. Thanks, everyone. Oh, awesome. Oh my gosh. And if anyone wants to stick around while people have questions, I'm going to drop the review link in the chat just in case anybody wants to leave Social Coach a review, because it makes me and my boss very, very happy. Please and thank you. All right, that's in the chat. Thank you all. If anyone has questions, I'll stick around and I'll keep coming back with more learnings from this conference, you guys. This is not the end of it. So tune in next month. Oh, Sally, thank you. I try to be fabulous just for you guys. We try to give you all the notes, all the homework so that you don't have to research it yourself. And then obviously, if you use Social Coach or if you want to learn more about Social Coach, all of our features are designed to do the same thing. Auto posting, professional video editing so you don't have to do it, all the scripts that we upload every week so you don't have to do a ton of content research. We do our best to make it easy. So thank you all. All right. I'm not seeing any other questions, so feel free to leave those reviews if you feel so inclined, and we will see you guys next month. Thanks, everyone.
Recording.